S3EP40 of Series 3 of Master League Story Mode. Now, to say that I'm pressed for time at the moment would be a massive understatement. I've spent the entire weekend painting shit, hanging things, moving boxes. It has been soul destroying and I am pretty much running on empty. So I need to get this recorded so I can go and fall asleep. Let's go and have a look at the first game, which is at home against Bournemouth. It's going to be football only today. I've got very little chat, very little anecdotery, very little banter, maybe you could say, in the locker. Quick look at the sides. Oh, Flint and Magnuson, both on downward arrows. Be quite good to play De Jong. So we'll drop Rosser to back. We'll bring in De Jong as a central midfielder. Fred Friday in the last episode. Holy smokes, was he on fire. Honestly, I've not seen a performance like that. An individual performance of that quality in a long time. So he stays in, as does Big Nige. Nige and Fred. That old man combo up front. The two sort of names you'd normally hear propping up the bar in a countryside pub. But there are strikers, and they're both very young and very exciting. Up against Bournemouth, who've traditionally been a pretty hard side to play against. They've got Jack Wilshere, best player in the world, best footballer, the English Iniesta. Anyway, I love him. I've made no secret of that. They've got Ivan Gradle out on the wings as well, and then Wilson in the centre. It's a decent side, but they've got a pretty suspect-looking attacking midfielder there. He doesn't look very good. So I'm not sure how he's going to do pulling the strings, but let's get into it. So two good wins in the last episode. The first one was a hard-fought one, and the second one was one of the biggest routs we've had in a long time. And I'm sure the Ashton Gate fans who come here with their side still top of the table will be very keen for us to continue that good form. And Bournemouth are the sort of side that we slip up against. These sort of mid-table, lower to mid-table sides, they're the really hard ones to play against. Southampton didn't manage much, but I'm a bit worried about this. Daniel Amati, there he is. He's been an absolute tear-up. Let's get into it. Wilson turns inside of Magnuson. That's great play from the centre-forward. Looks to find Gradle. Amati gets a foot in, and then another foot in, as he loves to do. And is able to spray a ball into Fred Friday. Looks inside to Kieran Dowell. He looks to chip it in into the path of Robertha. Couldn't take it down. Great ball though from mistake there. Friday lifts it into Nigel Robertha, and that's 1-0. Oh, Bournemouth. Oh, no, he's offside. I felt like there was an offside in there. Bloody late call though from the linesman. Oh, that is brutal. I mean, that is onside really. Gets away from Kieran Dowell into Gradle. Looks inside to Heidemann. Wilson, this is good passing here inside to Jack Wilshere. Made the run up from defensive midfield position. And now we can look to go again. De Jong takes it down. Ball into Friday. Oh, he turns his man so easily. And finds Angelino on running. He looks to chip it into the path of Nigel Robertha, who takes it down. He's gone very wide here, but can he square it to Marlon-Pack? Yes, he can. And Tupac is back in the goals. The captain in at the far post. He's back in. He's been out of the side a little bit recently, but when he does play, my word, he very rarely lets us down, and he made that great run, that Frank Lampard-esque run from midfield to be the man in the box as it squared across to him. It was good play here from Robertha. Nice ball in from Angelino. Robertha took it down. He was going too wide for the shot, but constantly aware, Nigel Robertha. As I've said, he doesn't have the highest passing stats, but much better than all of our other centre forwards, and there he showed it. Hyman, under pressure from Dowell, loses out. Now Kieran Dowell can get away from his man. Tees up the shot from distance. Oh! Oh! KD! My gosh. He's hit that so well. We had a long distance goal in the last game. Kieran Dowell had a few chances, which was saved well by Fraser Forster. But he just muscled his player out of the way then. He's hit that so well. Oh, he's put his laces through it, and it's in off the post. Keeper couldn't do anything about it. He's won the ball back there. He's all of his own creation. He's got the strength to stay ahead of that player. I don't know who it was. And then he's hit that beautifully in off the post. Nothing the keeper could do about it. Oh, and he's won it back again. It's Dan Gosling. He's caught out. This time he has to take him down. Friday inside of Wilshere. And then Dan Gosling with another really poor tackle. Robertha gets away. There's two horrible tackles in that play. Dan Gosling is looking out of his depth here. Oh, Marlon-Pack, that's a great little tackle there from the captain. Can he slip through Nigel Robertha? He can. Nigel Robertha, oh, from a tight angle. Tested Boric at the near post. Maybe he could look for Fred Friday in the centre. Oh, and rightly so. Gone back for a yellow card for Dan Gosling. He was horrible. That was nasty. I think there was another tackle as well in that passage of play. Matthews looks for the short one. Still Matthews. Fires the ball in. De Jong can't win the header. Comes out to Wilson, but Amati. Oh, steam train. Steam train Daniel Amati. No, freight train Amati. Wins it back. Matthews checks back into Dowell. Steps away from one. Oh, can't step away from Gradle. But De Jong's got it now. Inside to Dowell. Perhaps too much there from Kieran Dowell, but he's still got it down the line. Kieran Dowell with the right foot finish. Oh, this guy, this young man is turning into something a little bit special. I'm so tired I can barely even talk. But that was a finish and a half, wasn't it? He made it again, all himself there, Kieran Dowell. It looked like he'd done too much. In possession there, he looked like he was running into trouble, but he's just got that pace, that power, and the dribbling ability, and he slots it in, this time with his unfavoured right, down to Boric's left-hand side, through a very small gap at the near post. At this point, it looked like Kieran Dowell had run into a cul-de-sac, but nope. He kept going, and it's a good finish. Pack, ball into Robertha. Can he launch Fred Friday through the centre? He's put it down the line, trying to use the... Oh, he's won it back. Fred Friday now. Can he square it for Kieran Dowell for the hat-trick? Yes, he can. And KD grabs 3. And that's the story of this game. Kieran Dowell, very much coming of age recently. He's had those 2 dramatic improvement periods. He's by far and away our best player these days. And this one was a much less impressive goal than the first 2. But he showed great bravery to get in there. Fred Friday, his strength once again, proving the downfall of the Bournemouth defenders, as it did for Virgil van Dijk. Rest in peace, Virgil van Dijk from the last episode. My God, his career was ended by Fred Friday. It looked for every looked so much like Fred Friday wasn't going to get to that, but he did, and then unselfishly squares it for KD. And he's grabbed a first half hat-trick here. Matthews receives the throw-in. Into Pack, and then back to Matthews. Great play here. He's got time to look up, find his man. Friday's there at the near post. Falls to De Jong, edge of the box. He's hit it! Oh, he's hit it wide. De Jong really needs a goal. There's been so many goals scored in the last couple of games, and he's had chances. That was a decent one, but he couldn't find the target. And half-time is upon us. And once again, it's been an absolute rout here at Ashton Gate. This Bristol City side seem invincible at the moment. We've not been dominating them for possession, but we haven't needed to, really, with the amount of goals we've been scoring. And the quality of goals, my word. So, Jordan Ibe. We know him well from the Tim Sherwood days. He's the one who lost us the Champions League final. Don't want to be a spot. I mean, assuming everyone who's planning on watching the first series has already watched it. But Jordan Ibe cost Tim Sherwood's Blackburn the Champions League final with one of the worst penalties in Champions League final history. De Jong, lovely ball into Angelino. Now Angelino looking to use the pace of Fred Friday. Puts inside of Wilson. Fred Friday with a curling effort from distance. It's wide. He scored a similar goal in the last episode, cutting back inside. In off the post. That wasn't to be that time. So with this game dead and buried, we'll give Freaky Friday a rest. Let Tammy and Mings have a go. Angelino, the Archbishop of Banterbury, he also gets a little bit of time on the bench just to recover. And then now Matthews can float it in, looking for the header Robertha. He jumps with Nathan Aki. Aki does well to win it. Marty wings it over King. Searching ball into the box. Oh, Abraham benefits from the mistake from Cook, and now Tammy Abraham makes it 5 with a cool, calm finish with the instep. Big mistake there from the Bournemouth defender. He let this optimistic ball from Kieran Dowell. I mean, he's put it into the danger area, but Cook has to do better there, and Abraham on that. And then he finishes well. Yeah, confident finishing from Tammy, on as a sub today. Well, there we go. It's 5 goals again, this time though with a clean sheet as an added bonus. Kieran Dowell with the hat-trick today, and what a hat-trick it was. Both the first 2 goals were of a high quality, a world-class quality, you could say. And it seems at the moment that teams are just rolling over and having their belly tickled as soon as Bristol City appear. Not a single shot on target from Bournemouth is just not good enough. It's only an 8, again for Dowell, as with Friday in the last episode, but I'm pretty pleased with that. Really good performance. So will this dominance ever end? Well, it's 10 goals in the last 2 games. That's dominance for me. Look at that. 46 goals for. We've scored the most goals in the... Oh no, Everton have scored more goals than us. But we've only conceded 16, which is the least goals conceded in the league. So that goal difference of 30 Puts us well ahead of Manchester City, who are on the same points. And let's not forget, actually, we're pulling away now from 5th place Everton. Looks like Champions League should be assured. We're quite far ahead of them. I mean, Europe almost definitely assured. We're almost 20 points ahead of Manchester United in 8th place. So we'll definitely see Ian Holloway in Europe, which is, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? What sort of players are we going to have for next season as well? I'm not sure. Right, second game of the episode, and it's Bristol City against Swansea. And I think Swansea comes up as a derby in this. Yeah, although I don't really think it is. We've been through this before. I mean, unless Bristol versus any Welsh team is a derby. Not quite sure how that works, but fine. Don't mind. I like the challenge. Let's take a look. Kieran Dowell, unsurprisingly, he's on a blue arrow. Fred Friday on a downward arrow. That's a shame. We'll bring in Tammy. De Jong had a decent game in the last game. Do we go for form here? Oh, De Jong's tired. Davis may be in for Ross, because Ross is quite tired as well. Kieran Dowell obviously plays. Matthews, the Welshman, up against another Welsh team. He plays, even though he's a little tired. And so does Angelino from the start, because Mings is on a downward arrow. But maybe we can look to bring Angelino off again. He does struggle sometimes for fitness. Let's get into it. So here we are at the Liberty Stadium, Swansea City versus Bristol. It's Wales v England, and it's a derby apparently. It's not, I don't know, it's weird. I'm pretty sure it isn't. Maybe it is, and it's just not something you can find online, and Pez knows something I don't. I don't think that's the case. Obviously Swansea have got Sigurdsson. He's dangerous. Other than that, I didn't really look at the teams. As I said, I'm very, very tired this evening. Let's get into it. See if we can have another 5 goals. Maybe 6 this time. Why not? Simon spreads it wide to Carl Norton. Ooh, Davis. That's a big tackle there. Davis knows the importance of a derby. He's won a yellow card for himself early on. Didn't look much in that. I'm not sure if that's a yellow card challenge. I think the Swansea player maybe made a meal of that. It's an early reducer there from Davis in the midfield. He's definitely got a bit of bite to him, Davis. He's good in the tackle, strong in the tackle. Amati takes it down. That's a great ball into Pack. Roberta, first time layoff into Tammy Abraham. Scored in the last game as a substitute. Spreads it wide to Marlon Pack. Can he get the cross in? He shrugs off his man. That's great play. Nordfeldt comes out, saves well. Jefferson Montero now. Oh, good tackle from Dowell. The breakdown falls to Sigurdsson again. He slipped it in looking for Baston. Flint's got enough pace. Baston catches Matthews out in the area. Dangerous stuff here, but the Welshman makes amends almost instantly. And he dribbles it forward into Marlon Pack. And we're back in possession here. Now Kieran Dowell looking for options, looking for runners. He's gone all the way over the top looking for Abraham. That's well overhit. Poor. Oh, Marlon Pack, the preemptive slide. And then the tackle doesn't quite win it. Montero now into Baston. That's a nice ball inside to Sigurdsson. But Dowell's well aware of the danger. And he cuts that out. He's on a blue arrow today. Kieran Dowell. What can he do now? Streaming forward. Pushes it out to Davis. Goes back inside to Kieran Dowell. His dummy takes it past a man. Oh, strong play there by Norton, and it had to be. Oh, that's a poor clearance there from Sigurdsson. Davis now. He looked to work a shooting opportunity. Nobody finds Kieran Dowell. He takes the ball on the run. Can he whip a cross in? No, it's out for the first corner of the game. Really dicey game here so far. Really tight, cagey one, as you'd expect with a derby. 41 minutes in. Can we get an attempt on target? No, Cork does well to get it away. Angelino into the box. Can he get the shot off? Gets a wicked deflection. Could have been difficult there for the Swansea keeper. It's going to be 0-0 by the looks of it at the half. Roberta jumps well. Wins that back nearly. Oh, Davis sneaks in. Wins it back from Sigurdsson. Can anyone make the right run in a red shirt? Abraham into the box. Doesn't quite have the strength to get away from Norton. And that is 0-0 at the half. This has been a really tricky game. It's been high-paced. It's been tackles flying in from everywhere. Only one shot on target from Bristol. Yeah, that's as tight. Those stats show it as tight as it's felt. So what can we do in this second half? After the walk in the park that was the last game, it's quite nice to have a really tricky game here. Abraham out to Angelino. Whips in an early ball. Roberta's there at the far post. He swung a leg out at it, sliding along the wet pitch. Couldn't find it. Baston pulled off early in this first half for Llorente. We know he's dangerous in the air. And they've got wingers who can whip balls in. Need to be wary of that. Abraham putting the pressure on, but Norton gets away. Davis again with a strong tackle. He's really putting his body on the line today. He can win it back. Now Llorente lays it off to Cork. Into Sigurdsson. Oh, Marty gets an important foot in, but it's still Swansea here. But now Marty can bring it forward. He's got options here. 2 men ahead of him in Roberta and Tammy Abraham. Still Daniel Amati. Tees up a shot from distance. He's hit that really well. Not as accurate as some of the long shots in the last 2 games. He dribbled that all the way from in his own half. The pitch opened up and he thought, why not just have a swing at it? Oh, it wasn't far off. Long ball here. Flint up against Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson does really well, but Amati just stands there. You shall not pass. Roberta lays it off to Tammy Abraham. Abraham edge of the box. Takes the effort. Stings the gloves of Nordfeldt. But ultimately a fairly easy chance for him there. Foray into Montero. Into Sigurdsson. Once again Amati. They're on him straight away, but they've managed to pass their way out of that trouble. Now Laurenti finds himself with the ball edge of the box. Good dribbling from the Spaniard. But Amati again in there, and it's well distributed into Roberta. He's got space to run into here. But he looks for the chip ball into Tammy. The back. Oh, the chip nearly beats Nordfeldt, but it falls fortuitously back into Abraham's path. And he's able to finish there. It's been a really tight, cagey game here, as we expected. Roberta again, the creator. Given way too much time there. It's a delightful little chip into Abraham. He tried to finish it maybe a little bit too flashy there with the chip. But Nordfeldt couldn't hold on to it, even though it was directly into his hands. And Abraham very, very happy to take that one down and get us a goal up. De Jong over this one. Floats it in, looking for Roberta at the far post. He wins the header. Back across, couldn't find a Bristol City player. Flint steamrollers through Llorente, and we've won it back here. Amati into Flint now. Matthews into Marlon Pack. Oh, he's caught out by Jack Hawke. Don't want to be giving away a cheap goal here towards the end of the game, but once again, Daniel Amati. Absolute nightmare to play against. He's even put a foot in there as they get back, and he chases Llorente back, and he's won it back again. Daniel Amati, and that's a great ball this time into Kieran Dowell. Now Kieran Dowell looks to run away from Jack Hawke. The chip ball in looking for Roberta is not a great one. Swansea can only clear desperately. With only 6 minutes left in this game, can we hold on to this? Ooh, not so great 1-0 lead, but Dowell gets away from his man, and then another man. Kieran Dowell now looks to bring it into the centre. Oh, he steps back into trouble. Amati crunching tackle on Llorente. He's not had a second to even look up. And Amati this time goes into the book, but considering the work he's been doing in defensive midfield positions today, a yellow card's hardly that big a deal. Unless that is the last yellow card he needed before a suspension, which it could well be because he puts himself about, does old desperate Dan. Flint does well there. Oh, it's not cleared here. Amati, that's a horrible challenge that time as well. But we've come away with it. Now Amati can steam forward. Kieran Dowell with him. Needs to make the run. It's all slowed down a bit here. Kieran Dowell into the box. Can he get the shot away? He can. It's wide. Kieran Dowell scored from a not dissimilar position in the last game. Couldn't get it on target there. That was an uninspiring counter-attack. Kieran Dowell didn't seem to really fancy it. And it's another win for Bristol City. 2 in this episode. That wasn't quite as effective. Magnussen clearly loving winning the game against the rival. That can be the only reason for that celebration at this period of the season, unless we are officially in Europe now, but I don't know if we'd be celebrating that already. That was a really tricky game compared to the last. We managed 3 shots on target in the end. It was incredibly tight. Abraham, he grabbed the goal, gets man of the match. Yeah, standard, pretty pedestrian win. But those are the ones you need to be winning. Tricky games against rivals in this run for the league. So there we go. Another win. And we pulled ahead. 3 points ahead of City. Obviously didn't manage to win in the last game. Goal difference of 31 sees us looking pretty confident now. We slipped off the pace for a little bit. We dropped off the top. But now we're back there. This Bristol City side are the talk of the tabloids. Everyone is talking about this Bristol side across the world. Leicester City last season seemed improbable, but this seems completely fantasy. But no, Ian Holloway has created a team of such exciting youngsters. And we've won 5 games on the trot. I think that might be the first time in the Ian Holloway era. And a nice little bonus of £272,000 just to line that war chest. And we found a very special player. Let's take a quick look at that before the end of the episode. Who's it going to be? Someone that we can't sign, I'm sure. Koch. Oh, he's a big lad. Oh, good in the air. He's a bit slow, but we'll consider him. Add him to the list. Anything here? Joe Gomez, we know. He's probably going to be the one that we go for. So Joe Gomez, we've seen him come up before. He's very likely to be someone that we'll bid for. He's young, he's quick, he can pass. He's exactly the player we want to replace Aidan Flint. So, yeah, we'll probably put in a bid for him fairly soon. So that's the end of the episode. We've got Liverpool in the next episode at home. We're top of the league. We've got some players in the shape of a Marty, Dowell and Freaky Friday who are playing at a level that we simply didn't expect to see so early on. And Ian Holloway's Bristol are just incredible at the moment. They really are exceeding all expectations that anyone could have had of any side, let alone a newly promoted team. So can we perform the impossible and win the league with them in their first season in the Premier League? It would be historic. It would be amazing. Join me in the next episode to see if we can keep this one going. I'll see you in a bit.